Hello and good day. We're going over the BGU trade that we just entered today. Today is July 26, 2010. It is about 11:58 a.m. So it's about to be 12 noon. We had a perfect setup. It didn't gap or anything. Here's where it closed. Here's where it opened. Not much of a gap. Opened up here, came back down, and then busted through our new fractal here. So it was a really good entry. Here was our original entry around this area, but it gapped up to there. I held on for a second to see if it was going to keep going. If so, I would have probably gotten in around here anyway. Then it came back down and then up. So here's where I entered. You can see it says stop market right here. Okay. Now, my stop was down here. You can see the 100 moving average is here. Here's my stop. It's below all these here. This is really too low. This was back here for this area. Now we have this new area here, so here's a really good area for stop at 46.82. So we have an entry at 48.07, which is another good reason because this entry here was below at about 47.93, which is right before even number of 48.00. Okay, so anytime you have an even number, you don't really want to get in right below the even number at 47.93, for instance, because it could stop at 48 because traders seem to have some kind of psychological thing with even numbers. So we'll go above the even number of 48 a few ticks, cents, and 48.07 looked good. I could have gotten in at 48.05, but I decided to give it a couple extra cents just to make sure it was a proper break. Okay, so now where is our exit? I could scroll back in time till I find it, but that's too much trouble. So all I'll do is go over here to the 60-minute chart, pull that up, and you can see that this is our BGU trade, 60-minute chart, and you can see where it had broken here, and it cleared every single thing on the 60-minute chart. I did make sure to check that when I saw that trade on the 5-minute. Actually, what I did is check out the 60-minute first and see if it was clear of everything, and you can see that that entry is clear of all this mess over here at the beginning of July. So nothing's in the way. You can see that nothing is in the way of this entry until you get to here. But that's just a little yellow line uh, area of caution, and then you'd want to place a add-on right above there. You can see that's about the 25-30% mark from your 100 moving average. So if this is 0%, halfway there is 50%, all the way to exit strategy is 100%, you can see that that's about 30%. So that's a really good area for add-on. So besides this little area of resistance, you can look back. There's really nothing. That's really nothing. See, that's this little bitty line. Here is where it is. Here, here, and here. All that area right there is big major resistance at 67.78. So we have really good trade. We have our BGU buy stop at 48.07, 48.07. Don't want to confuse you. Our stop is at 46.82, which is about 46.80. That's good right there. So you can see the distance between the buy and our stop is really small compared to our the gain, the opportunity that we have to gain over there at 67.78. So that is our target, 67.78. So the risk per share, if you subtract our entry from our stop, that is 1.39. So $1.39. Our target, if you subtract 67.78 from 48.07, is $19.71. Very good. So the reward risk ratio is 14 to 1. It looks a lot more than that, but it's 14 to 1, rounded. So anything over a 7 to 1 or 8 to 1 reward risk ratio, you really need to go 2%. So that's exactly what I did. I risked 2% on this trade. So therefore, if I lose this trade, I will lose 2%, is the most that I can lose on this trade. If this trade makes it all the way to exit strategy, we have a chance of winning 28%. So I could have risked 1% to gain 14%, but it's such a large reward risk ratio that you might as well go 2%. Now let's check this out. 1% to gain 14%, or risking one more percent, so for a total of 2% to gain 28. As you can see, risking 2% to gain 28% is well worth it, extremely well worth it. So therefore, we had to go 2%. Now, the good news is that the trade actually hit and is going in our favor. The other good news is that if I go back to the 5-minute chart, you can see that price has retraced a few times, therefore creating bottom fractals. 1, 2, 3 bottom fractals here. So therefore, that gives me the opportunity to move my stop from here at 46.82 up to, actually could have moved it all the way up to break even at 48.07. However, I know that there's an even number of 48 there, and it could retrace all the way back to 48 before it bounces back up. So therefore, I'm going to put it at 47.95. Slightly below. So if I lose this trade now, I'll lose probably a 12th of 1%, which is, or 15th of 1%, which is nothing. So therefore, pretty much break even. So pretty much we have our stop move to break even. We enter this trade at about, let's see, this 9:30, 9:35, 9:40, 9:45, 9:50, 55, 60. So right at about 10 o'clock, and now it's 12 o'clock, and we have our stop move to break even. That is the way that we like to trade. We don't like it to hit, come back, hang out in this area here, and then finish the day up by way back here again, because then it could gap down. We don't like it to hit and then stay in this area. We like it when it hits and go ahead and is moving away from our break-even point. Talk to you later. Thanks.